Love and peace. Today we'll add to the storytime playlist, Ouada, the story of the old Sheik, Sadem. I wish you a happy holy day. Enjoy. Ouada, old Sadem, who was the Sheik encamped in an oasis, had a daughter whose name was Ouada. She was so beautiful that she was surnamed the Star of the East. She always appeared veiled and passed for a peri in the imagination of the poor. Her father idolized her, and she loved her father above all things after Allah. The old Sheik had often been asked by the sons of the Sheiks of the most valiant and richest for the hand of his daughter, but he has often refused, for how could he make up his mind to part with his beloved Ouada? It was she who made him happy in his old days. It was she who prepared his hookah and helped him to sorgo and other cordials, which in part renewed strength and vigor to old age. On his return from a journey in the desert and under the burning sun, it was Ouada who wiped the dust from his feet and prepared his refreshing bath. When at the close of the day he sat in front of his old tent on his carpet, with his legs crossed under him, enjoying the evening breeze, his beloved Ouada either read to him from the book of wisdom or delighted by the sweet strains of her melodious voice. In one word, Ouada was the pride and happiness of her old father, and the children of the tribe had exhausted all the figures of their rich and imaged language to express their admiration of her. One day a deep gloom settled down on all the tents in the oasis. The old men, women, and children are seen running about with anxious looks and with tears in their eyes, and one would have asked if some pestilence was not disseminating the tribe. If the waters of the cistern had not been dried up by the dog days, or else if the Serum had not destroyed the harvest. But there is no pestilence ravaging the tribe. The dog days have not dried up. The waters of the cistern and the harvest has not been destroyed by the Serum. Whence come then the mourning of the tribe? Alas, the flower that adorned is drooping and going to die. The beautiful and gentle Ouada is attacked by a mortal malady. One remedy alone can save her, the physician whom the unhappy father sent for as far as the great city of Cairo said, unless you can have for your daughter some of the pomegranates which grow in Said at Karnak near the ruins of the ancient Thebes, your daughter will die tomorrow. A cry of surprise and stupor arose from the weeping crowd which surrounded the venerable Sheik, for it would be just as impossible to a man to fly through space to the stars as to go over twice in one day. The distance which separates the tribe from the ruins of the Luxor, that distance being 120 miles. Allah, Allah, cried the old man, tearing his turban from his forehead and throwing the yataghan at his feet. Cursed be the day that I was born. Oh, must my daughter die? Oh, my friends, save my daughter. Who among you has the fastest horse or the swiftest camel? Let him speed over the 120 miles of desert, and in gratitude I will give him all he asks, my leather poise, with all my gold, my good damask blade. A mournful silence is his only answer. Every face, with consternation depicted upon it, seems to say that such a distance cannot be traveled over in such a short time by any man. Let him be mounted on the fastest horse or swiftest camel. Ah, adds the old man, sobbing, I will give him all my horses, or if he prefers, all my camels. If he wishes, I will put him in my place as Sheik, or else I will give him my most precious treasures, my daughter, if he brings me the pomegranates, which are to cure her. Saying the old words, Sheik Sadem sprang to the bedside of his dying daughter, and taking her hand shows it to his people, who were all moved to tears. A cry pierced the crowd. I shall go, and a youth suddenly appears before the Sheik, panting for breath, and with his face pale with emotion. It was IshmaEls, a child of the tribe, and Ouada's foster brother. By Allah, Sheik, if I die on my way, my camel will bring back the pomegranates to thy door. He had hardly spoken when he was already gone. He penetrates into the solitary desert where darkness and silence dwelt. The camel dashes over the sand as a whip over the waves. Fly, cries the youth to him, with oppressed heart and with his eyes raised towards heaven. Allah, come to my aid. That generous child will be the victim of his devotion. He will die with the fatigue, or if a tiger devoured him, thus thought the old man. How long and painful was the night to the child who was coursing in the desert, as well as to the father who was watching by the bedside of his daughter. When shall I arrive? Cried Ishmael. Every minute takes me further away from her, and every minute brings me nearer to the grave. He presses something to his heart. It is a little scent bag given to him by Ouada as a token of her tender affection for him. He is but a poor herds driver, IshmaEl, but he is as courageous as a lion and as gentle as a newborn lamb. He is especially devoted to the Sheik. Ah, what would he not do to save the daughter of the Sheik? He left his poor mother who is sleeping now, but will be in despair tomorrow when she opens her eyes and sees him no longer. But then Ouada perhaps will have closed her eyes forever. Fly, 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 my faithful companion, cries Ishmael to his camel. You will perhaps fall dead with fatigue, but I must sacrifice you as well as I sacrifice myself for the daughter of the father of my Sheik. The shadows vanish. A reddish light appears in the horizon. It is day. The faithful camel in his flight scarcely touches the sand with his feet. Ishmael is panting for breath. Perspiration is rolling down his face in torrents. His eyes are eagerly fixed on a whitish line, which are the ruins of Karnak. He has gone over the 120 miles. He seeks and finds the coals of the pomegranate so ardently desired. In his joy he speaks to them as if they were able to understand him. Oh, says he to them, you will cure Ouada. You will restore her to life, and the Sheik will live. Scarcely does he take time to quench his thirst at a neighboring spring, shaded with palm trees. He caresses with gratitude the faithful animal and seems to say to him with tearful eyes, you are stronger, more endearing than I. Perhaps I will perish in going over again the 120 miles of desert waste, which separate me from Ouada, my dear companion. If I die on the way, follow your course with the rapidity of lightning. I have firmly attached to your back the leather bag, which contains the precious pomegranates. If you feel yourself dying, also struggle with death as far as the threshold of the tent of my good father, Sadem. As if the animals had understood this mute prayer, he looks at Ishmael with that expression of obedience and faithfulness peculiar to domestic animals. He stoops with his knee bent under him, and resting on the sand in order that Ishmael may mount him again, flies back through the desert with the swiftness of an arrow cleaving the air. The day brightens. The dew has refreshed the plants and trees of the oasis, but the star of the tribe is growing pale and dim. The old Sheik, in despair, goes continually from the threshold of his tent to his daughter's bed, and where her life is slowly ebbing out, and from his daughter's bedside to threshold of his tent again, to cast an eager look over the vast expanse of the desert. Is not Ishmael coming, that black spot detaching itself from the light-colored sand where it seems to blend with the blue sky? Alas, no, it is an ostrich pursuing its solitary way. That cloud of dust yonder, is it not raised by the foot of a camel? Alas, alas, no, it is a gazelle crossing the desert. Thus nearly the whole day is passed in painful deception. Allah, Allah, I am old. May the angel of death take me in place of my daughter. There is no more hope. The doctor has just said that Ouada is going to die. The whole tribe surround the tent of the Sheik. The sun is setting, and the day is drawing towards a close. Is Ouada dead? No, but what is that tumult breaking in upon the glooming silence of morning? As if he was precipitated from the clouds, so rapid is his course, a camel cleaves the crowd. A man is seen on his back covered with dust, with precipitation, and completely exhausted with fatigue. It is Ishmael. That joyful cry is repented by every mouth. It roves old Sadem for his stupor of grief. The young man drags himself to the feet of his Sheik and to the bedside of the dying Ouada. She herself had startled when she heard the shouts of the people. The doctor opened the bag in which were contained the precious pomegranates. He pressed the juice from them, which he carefully collected, and moistened his patient's lips with it. Little by little, as the water returns in a dried up spring, a current of life rises to the pale cheeks of Ouada. Her eyes become brighter, and she has strength, now takes a deep draught of the healing beverage. "Your beautiful daughter is saved," cried the good physician to old Sadem. They now bestow every care upon generous IshmaEl. They carry him outside of the tent. In the cool breath of the evening, with the restoratives they give him, soon revive his wearied frame. "Let all the tribe come together. My daughter is saved. I will keep my promise." The old Sheik spoke with enthusiasm, and his face was radiant with hope and happiness. Shouts of joy all heard on all sides. The whole tribe is in the utmost glee, and one would have thought that an army had just encamped around the tent where Ouada, the star of the east, arises from the shadows of death. Flags wave in the air. Weapons are brandished as a sign of rejoicing. The faithful camel is paraded in triumph and honored by the strains of martial music. Indeed, IshmaEl was overcome by sleep, is awakened by extraordinary noise, and starting up stammers, is the enemy of the gates of the camp. Must I prepare to go and meet them? No, but prepare to meet my daughter. And the father's arms are extended to him. "Come, let me press thee to my heart, thou, the savior of my daughter. Come, let me embrace thee as my child. By Allah, thou shalt be the husband of my daughter." The old Sheik declaration is welcomed by enthusiastic cheers. The young man rushes into the arms of the venerable Sadem, and tears of surprise and gratitude follow from his eyes. This patriarchal scene was lighted by the last rays of the sun, which was selling in a cloud of purple and gold in the distant horizon of the great desert. I hope you enjoyed the story time reading at the Amexem Almanac as I did. I leave you in love and peace. Divine honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali and the Moorish divine and national movement of the world.